Christine. It's time for a Scrap-lift Crafternoon. Let me show you this layout here. And God, y'all, I should have paid attention to the name. I'm going to have to put it in the link. This is the still shot from the YouTube video, which will have the link for the original lifter below. But anyway, she has two vertical, I guess it's 4x6s. Looks like 4x6s. And then she kind of has this group of random layers, right? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern papers. I see some mixed media, a bunch of florals, and a nice big title. She does have stitching. I don't stitch, y'all. That ain't happening. So we're just going to have to put the title. What I've got here is, I'm kind of using, well, I've got the hit kit. It's called Chasing Dreams. It was April's 2022's collection. And it's kind of Eastery in the sense of, well, this one's not so much because it's got rainbows and whatnot. But it has like little Easter things. So there's like bunnies and stuff. Now there's other things, and that's, I separated these out so I could kind of look at it. There's other titles and things. You don't have to do Easter, but there's this little bit of Easter. And I thought, you know what? I've got a couple of 10-year-old Easter pictures of my daughter that she still got Easter baskets. She was 14 in this one, so she's so cute. So anyway, I'm going to scrap these two pictures, and I was trying to do the theme, was what I was thinking here. So I've got these two pictures, and I think for the background, I'm going to do one of these real soft backgrounds. I haven't decided if I'm going to do this one. I'm kind of leaning towards this little gingham, though. So I think I'm going to make my little background this, and I'll put my mixed media and stuff. So yeah, so let me trim these down. I'm going to kind of get my mixed media figured out. I haven't figured out my colors yet, y'all. I'll have to show you that in a minute. And start doing a few little, I do have some scraps. Sorry, I should have showed you this too. I do have a couple of scraps here that I can use for those layers, is what I'm thinking. So I don't have to cut into another 12 by 12. And so anyway, let me start doing some cutting and stuff, and then I'll come back on for the mixed media part. All right, talk soon. Okay, gang, so I have put my background here on a piece of craft, shoot, what's that called? Craft? It's not craft paper. It's some kind of craft mat. That's what it is. And I decided to use this gold first. And I started off with the packaging technique where I squirted it on the side. And I thought, okay, I'm going to use my little packaging here, and I'm going to go around. And that works okay. But then I think to myself, Christine, why don't you just squirt it on there? So I go ahead and just start squirting it, because actually it worked out fine. Back in the old days, I feel like some of them kind of clogged, and this one doesn't clog too bad. Now, that being said, I pull the green out in a minute, and I decided just to squirt it on there. And I guess in some ways it's a little brave, right, just to start squirting on your paper. Well, I do, and it gets a little bit gloppy, but that's okay, because the inspiration had like some little, I hate to use the word gloppy, but like little more bigger splotches. And so I'm okay with how this turned out, actually. And so anyway, you saw me squirt it on there, and then I am just blotting it, because if you've watched me for any length of time, you know I'm too impatient to let it dry on its own. All right, now I have my pictures. I've got those taped together, and then I'm looking at my little pieces of pattern paper here that I need to put behind it, and I think, okay, she's got hers scuffed up. I need to scuff mine up. To be honest, I probably would have scuffed it even if she hadn't, so it's okay. It works along with. And I've got the, like I said, the little scuff going on here, so it takes me just a second. And then I'm going to end up attaching that back behind the photos. I like how this little set comes out, honestly. It is very Eastery, but not, you know, not really baby Eastery, but it's cute enough. I mean, she's like 14 in this picture, y'all. My daughter is so funny. She's 24 this year, and she sent me, I couldn't even tell you how many TikToks about grown-up children getting Easter baskets. So I also had to do an Easter basket this year. I do enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. It's fun. I enjoy Easter baskets. She don't get candy in them anymore because she's too picky about her food, but I put cute little things in there. Okay, so I've got my little pieces of pattern paper back behind there, and I'm just kind of finding the home for my little assembly there. And I start off kind of looking at this little diamond pattern, and I go, no, that's a little too big. I'm going to start with something else. And I had punched I was kind of messing with this earlier, and it had punched a little scallop in it, because on the inspiration there is a little scallop. And so I punched it in there to see where it would end up, and it ended up, you know, pretty good, actually, in the sense I get the floral with the little scallop. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this, or cut this little scallop out of this border strip here. I did leave it on the paper while I did it, because had I cut that before, it would have been too little or too skinny for me to, oh, there's my head, sorry, y'all. Too skinny for me to get it in that punch. So I went ahead and left it on there, and I just snipped this little end off right here, because I knew I wasn't going to need it. And then now I can trim it off the pattern paper without too much trouble. If I had, like I said, tried to do a little bitty old 1-inch or 1/2 inch border strip inside that thing, that would never have worked. So I'm going to trim this off of here, and I'm going to use this on the bottom underneath there. Now I've got this little blue like polka dot, and I think this has turned out pretty cute. I'm not going to lie, it was a little tricky to see how she did that bottom. I think she had 2 skinny pieces, and so I'm doing 2 skinny pieces, but I will add another piece in a minute because I kind of want to. I don't know if she did or not. It's a little hard to tell. Maybe my eyesight, I don't know, but I knew she had that mixed media in there, and it kind of made my eyes look a little funny when I was looking at her layout, so I decided to stick with these 2 skinny pieces, and then I'll stick another one. Now, I tore the edges of that blue and white polka dot stuff. I don't really know. I don't think it was from what she had done. I just had it in my head that's what I wanted to do. Now, I do have to use the Nuvo glue on this because it's too... there's no way I'm going to get it. I shouldn't say no way. There's not really an easy way for me to use a glue or a tape runner. So I'm going to use my Nuvo glue, and I stick that on top, and I think that looks pretty cute. And this is where I decided, well, I want something a little bit fatter up underneath there. Well, not yet. First, I got to do the top part, and she had that up there too. Now, she used a little label. I ended up not using a label, but I did use this little vertical piece here. And to be honest, I think she actually used a little different pattern. Like if you go back and look at hers, she's kind of got this pattern, but it also matches like two other spots on the layout, and I don't really do that. I do mine slightly different. So I've got that little piece there, but this is now where I do kind of look and go, well, I want this little bit bigger piece because I kind of want those bottom. I don't like my bottom hanging out. I think my picture bottoms are kind of hanging out. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little something. So I trim this off, and then we'll have to make it a little bit skinnier so it'll fit up underneath there. So I'm going to create a little shelf with my little diamond paper here. And I like this. I think this looks cute. I do scuff the edges of it, obviously, right here because all the other ones are scuffed. And in a second, once I get this glued on here, I'm going to cut away because then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to start working with the ephemera. So I'm putting this up underneath my thing just to create my little shelf, and I think that looks really cute. And then I'm going to cut away, and you're going to start seeing all the ephemeras. Now, I went ahead. I had them underneath the craft mat, and I kind of messed them up underneath the craft mat. I had them sorted originally, so I just start moving them around and get them out of the way. And I've actually even started laying stuff down. I know there was a little tag on hers on the left-hand side, so I had that little tag there. It says fun. I've laid that down there. And then on the right-hand side, I start kind of messing. I actually end up moving all this around, but you'll see in a second. I've got this little wreath over here that has little eggs. And then I got a little rabbit. And I tried the one rabbit, and I moved him to the other side. Not sure why. I just felt like he looked better over there. And then I have an egg. There's like 3 or 4 little eggs in this ephemera kit. So I'm kind of trying to use up the Easter stuff. There's actually one thing of Easter that I do lay down, that right there. I don't believe I end up using it. I'm a little bit sad because I'm not sure how I'm going to use it again because I don't have tons of Easter pictures. I just don't take a lot. But I might can find a way. We'll see. So now on my left-hand side over there, I've got that. I tried initially to show the fun, and then I decided, no, I'm not going to show the fun. I'm just going to go ahead and use my little rabbit, my egg, and my little floral jar there. Little jar has You Are Special on it, and I wasn't even sure I wanted to show that at first, but I thought, no, I'm going to have it show. So I built the little cluster on the right-hand side up there. I do have the word happy as a little piece of ephemera title down there at the bottom, and that looks pretty good to me. And then I have a little, what is that? What's that called? Like a little wavy banner looking thing. I'm starting to kind of up here in this upper right-hand corner. I'm moving my way around the layout. I don't know why I'm doing it that kind of way, but I put that flower there because that is on the inspiration. She has a little floral off to the side. And I'm kind of messing around with this wreath and all this stuff up here and this rabbit. I end up moving that in a second. You'll see. But I'm still, again, I'm just kind of going through all these ephemeras. I look at the chipboard. I do like the chipboard. I kind of wanted to, there's an Easter basket on there. It says Easter or Happy Easter or something. I thought to myself maybe I'd use it. I don't actually end up using it. So there's where I got that little banner down there, and I got the other little set. And then I think to myself in a minute, I'm going to flip these. We'll see how long it takes me to remember to do that. See, because here I'm trying to get this Easter, and I'm like, I can't get this to work. I don't like it. I'm messing with it. This is where I decide I'm just going to flip this. So maybe I do actually use that Easter. Now that I say that, it stayed right there. So I moved my little, what is that, a wreath with a little dangly heart things. I move it down. I got the rabbit. That looks good. And then I moved the egg and the little upside-down rainbow with Easter. And then I think it says Celebrate Today. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the layout, and it's kind of tiny on here, but I think it says Celebrate Today. And I like where those end up, so that looks pretty good. And I'm looking at my little buttons, and I'm looking at the other stuff, and I think, you know what, I'm going to start gluing this stuff down. So I have glued all of it down now. I didn't make y'all sit there and watch me do that. And I've glued it all down. You can kind of see where I put some on foam tape. So, yeah, I did put the little rabbit on the left-hand side on foam tape. I've got my little banner that says Celebrate Today on foam tape. I have an Easter egg in the upper right-hand corner on foam tape. And I'm now putting my little title here. I like this little font. It's real cute. I will have to scooch it to the left a little bit because I wasn't too much over there. And I didn't put my Happy up on foam because I knew my Easter was texture, you know, puffy or whatever. So I wanted it to have the be the star of the show, I guess. So this is kind of what I'm doing here. Now I did put a little strand of twine out of my tag. I don't think I showed y'all that. It's got a little pink and white stripe. I think that looks pretty cute. Now here's where I'm kind of messing with some black and white ephemera. They look like the little, you know, leaf poke outs or whatever, because on her inspiration she did have some kind of long branches poking out of these areas. But I stick these in here and I mess with them and I mess with them, and I'm thinking, can I make them work? I decide I don't like them. They're not going to work. It just looked weird, poking out the bottom and doing this and doing that. And so I thought, you know what? Never mind, Christine. Just take them off. You don't have to have the branches. Even though she had the branches, yours just doesn't look good with the branches, so we'll take it off. And then I actually pull out the little black and white butterflies, and I think, okay, well, maybe I'll stick these butterflies on here. I like them. So I start kind of laying them down. I even think up there I might do it because I think she had something. Maybe it was a butterfly. I'm not really sure now. I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'll use those. Nope. Decide not against that too. I have a lot to choose from right now, so I'm happy with that because I got lots of things to choose from, and I thought, well, I hadn't used any of these buttons, and these little heart buttons look cute with the little polka dots, and they kind of match the pattern. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to use these little heart buttons. So I'm just going to poke around in here and get me three of these and put those on my layout. And I messed up the little glue dot right there, y'all. That's why I had to poke at it. Anyway, so they do look like buttons, so they do have the little holes in them. I guess theoretically I could put string through them. I decided not to. I didn't want to mess with it, truth be told. I picked this little flower up. He ends up going up there. I do like him up there as well. And I'm going to set that in there. And I start looking. I go, okay, is there any other ephemera? Because, again, I do have a lot to choose from. Do I want anything else on here? Nope. I decide not to. So I trim off my little side flower over there. And that is all I'm going to do this layout, y'all. That was it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the links below because I will have the original YouTube and then all my little fellow hoppers this week. I think most everybody's playing except maybe Tara because she's moving. So anyways, take a look and we will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.